Hello, welcome to part two. Welcome back to part two of this stocks and crypto live stream with me, No FOMO Charts. Today is it's April 3rd, 2022, 4/3/2022. It's about 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The internet connection and the power went out. So got power back and internet back on. So we're just gonna continue straight back where we left off of. So if you're just dropping into this stream, I already covered Dow Jones, S&P 500, NASDAQ, Apple, Microsoft, and half of Google. So I'll just finish off Google right now. So Google basically, it broke out of this upper trend line resistance to the top side and just watch for the support 2756. We're going to move on. Amazon, again, a major player, a global player in the stock market. Very, very important stock. Amazon with the stock split could have contributed to the reason why we are rallying so high in the stock market right now. But what happened? What's the play-by-play? Okay. Well, during the fear lows, we had our support level to the downside right here in this range about the 2700s. And we did have this upper trend line here. So again, it turned into, there are a bunch of triangles. And then this particular support level was a nice area to potentially go long into the fear, just like Warren Buffett said, there's 20%. SPY is in the previous video. So you could just, there's a replay of that now. We gotta move forward or the stream's gonna be 5 hours long. So we just gotta keep going here. All right, so Amazon, this is the setup. And why am I doing the stocks is because we're talking about the stocks inside of the S&P 500, the top 10 biggest players. Now this 4-hour bearish momentum did come to pass. It did happen. So now I'm looking down at the support levels to the downside up here, 3137. Okay, right there at that support trend line. So it's going to see if we hold intraday or not. So you could see a pattern here now, right? We did 3-4 tech stocks now. It's almost very similar pattern. It's not exactly the same, but it's very similar, right? Intraday, we are holding the support of 3256. We are holding it here. So if this holds, it would be nice if we get that rally, the uptrend rally continuation to the upside. Would be nice. So watch out for that. Next one, Tesla. All right, Tesla's a slightly different chart than usual. Tesla. So when we're talking about short squeezes, when we're talking about trend changes, when we're talking about trading, Tesla is a nice asset for that. So what's going on? If we just look at the past year or so, it's been a wild ride for Tesla, right? You had this downtrend into the reversal. Okay, so trend is extremely important. We went from uptrend to downtrend to an uptrend. I remember one of my first members in the Discord called this, saying it's an uptrend. And it was. And then we had the stock sell-off news, and this has been downtrend for about 6 months now. And then we had the breakout. So these are the setups that I enjoy. I like these because they actually work in the market if I have the patience, because everyone's trying to, this is the problem with the market and human psychology, is when things go up, let me just erase this. When things go up green, this is a lesson of all charts, of stocks, commodities, Forex, crypto, is when nothing is happening or very little is happening, let's say here after a downtrend, everybody quits the market. Nobody does their charts anymore. Nobody cares about stocks and crypto, except for experienced traders and investors from intermediate, advanced to professional level, at least advanced professional level, experienced, is this right here in the circle. The problem is the rest of the world in general is they wait to see it on the news. But when is it on the news? When it's the highest price ever. That's when you start hearing things on the news, right? You'll hear things. Dow Jones, record highs. Tesla, record highs. Apple, record highs. Amazon, record highs. That's when you start seeing it on the news. So then when you see it on the news, it's time to sell. So sell the news event in general. You know what I mean? Is that when the price is low, nobody cares. Nobody's paying attention to it except for I'm going to call them the serious traders, because we drew this setup and said, wait, there's a descending triangle right here, and it's starting to uptrend and break out, just kind of like right now. Does that make sense? It's not exactly the same though. This was a very, very slow burn to the upside before the rocket took off. So anybody longed up here got hurt, seriously hurt. But if we fast forward to now, it's the same exact psychology. Is when we had the downtrend, I was saying it's going to go, if you've been following my stream for a long time, we knew it's kind of this 700 range, 750. That was that support level. I've been talking about it for 3 months straight. So, I did not change that idea. It's because it's there, is you just play it. You literally execute. So now we have it ended up going to the bottom of that trend line support. This top flag trend line resistance, a little trickier to draw, but it was here this whole time. And then with the stock split, you had the gap up. And I was saying, just like on the stream last week, wherever the example was, it might have been this gap up that I was talking about. It's very similar. Tesla likes to gap up, meaning there's a lot of hype. Right here, the gap up, gap up. The problem though is gap ups could be for selling in terms of shorting, because it's too overextended. You just barely tap the overbought region. But on the intraday, it's starting to lose that momentum of the price. But the issue is it's very similar to all tech stocks right now. Is the medium term swing trading time frame is there's bears momentum that wants to pull us down to, let's say, 1019 or 1000 or 935 US dollars. But the intraday is trying to maintain that trading momentum. So intraday, you might see a long bounce. Tomorrow is possible. The first few hours of the market, it's not quite oversold. So actually, the first 30 minutes of Tesla might pull back. Right? Because if you look at this, what is this chop? This is choppy. It might look like this tomorrow morning. You might get a dump in the morning. The short saying, oh, we are going to attack this down to this trend line. Okay, so you can see this forming if you're trying to day trade. Oops. Which I might tomorrow. Might take a quick short scalp tomorrow if it's going to happen. Right? It depends on futures too, but it depends here. If it pulls back, okay, nice. Let this thing kind of oversold, and then before we get possibly the longer term bounce. I'm not getting too bullish on Tesla at this point because it's an overextended move. If you zoom out even further to a weekly, you have a gap up on the weekly. Can't stay like that forever. Yes, you could get some extreme 1, 2, 3 gap ups, but it's not going to stay up like that forever. So this, to me, a lot of charts right now, it's not a good sign for the next few months. The only thing that's going to sustain this is earnings, stock earnings happening in about a week or two, about 2 weeks. So again, the gap support right below this is like 1011. Okay. So if we lose 1062 and this thing for a couple of days starts losing momentum, shorts might try to attack it because now it's in the sky. I hope people realize the price now is generally in the sky when 2-3 weeks ago we were on the ground. Buy low, you sell high. You buy low, you sell high relative for trading. Investing slightly different, but The problem is people getting hyped up and say, oh, Tesla went up for, I don't know, X amount of days, 14 trading days. Wow, is it going to the moon? But then it's technically trading relative high price. Somebody longs this at this random price right here, this 6% potential downside for I'm talking about medium term to short term trading. I'm not talking about investing. Because, of course, 6 months from now, it could blast off to 12, 13, 1400. 9 months from now, if the stock split gets approved, Tesla's going to be way cheap, relative speaking. But at this point in time, if we just talk about the last 3 weeks, it was low 3 weeks ago, and now it's way higher than that. So just be careful of that. And because if Tesla is, your favorite trading stock or your favorite company, is if you missed it, if anybody missed it, a trader is just patience. Just patience. Because the stock split is coming later, right? So the stock split, this is the news getting priced in of the stock split. But again, on this weekly though, as an investor, is, oh, this thing pulls back, how far? How far down is this thing going to go? It might not go all the way down because we already had Omicron and the Russia-Ukraine war priced in to the market. It's just a matter of where's the pullback going to be, and there could be your second entry. Let's go a little faster now. It just so happens to be that the top 10 largest stocks are basically all tech stocks. Might slip in AMD right after this one because it's related to NVIDIA. Let's move on. NVIDIA, the setup is very similar like a Google. Just right here, even if you don't look at all the price, just if you do a quick, it's support right there, 213. How do I know this? Touch points, inflection point, form, meaning like you had a, I call it inflection point, meaning when it hits this, it's retesting that, but then instead of, it's resistance, which turns it to support. So you're just kind of moving around inside of here. Is it going to reject below or is it going to go above? And so it's kind of right there. It's the flipping point, the equilibrium point. I just like to call it inflection point, personally. But here we go. You have this, right? Former resistance now acting 1 year later as support, and we bounce right off that beautiful setup right here. Triangle breakout as well. There's also a little sneaky double bottom in there. See, it's just everywhere. The setups are everywhere. And then it broke out to the upside. Okay, now, yes, we could measure the move of the triangle. 8%. Did we go? We went 24%. Beautiful. 3 times the target. Happens. The H4, again, the longer term, this is our support in the center right here, 255, 255. We need to hold above that. The 1 hour, it's right just below that, the 200 EMA in the red. Is this just a pullback? Because we do see it pulls back, it bounces, pull back, bounce, pull back, bounce. But then this is a 1 hour downtrend, so I'd be kind of careful of that. Is it going to go one more leg down, double bottom on RSI, and then we start another uptrend? It's definitely possible. So just watch out for that on NVDA. Let's talk about AMD for a second. AMD, okay, AMD is having its own issues. Oh, I should say for Tesla too, is this red, this, again, company specific news. Somebody asked me in the Discord is, what is PR? It's public relations. It's basically the internal corporation releasing news and announcements about the company itself. It's not about third-party news like CNBC or Bloomberg. It's the company itself. They announced Tesla stock split. But why? Like a day before that or hours before that, there was the Shanghai Tesla factory shut down because of COVID, Omicron lockdown, right? And now I just saw the news like this morning, 5 hours ago or whatever it was, is, Tesla Shanghai production plant not opening tomorrow for production. So that's a little bit of company specific news that we need to always watch out for. Okay, right here, unable to restart Shanghai production on Monday. Internal memo 6 hours ago on Reuters TV or Reuters News. So with stocks, always have to pay attention to the news because these gap ups, down or up, is usually news perpetuated. It's not just pure TA of the charts. So AMD, right? I think AMD got downgraded. I could be wrong about that, but there were it was either AMD or NVDA. One of these got downgraded by an analyst, big analyst firm, and so that could be why it pulled back. If you notice that AMD, it didn't really rally as strong as the other stocks. So you see here, it's inside of this larger triangle, just stuck. So hit that pivot point of the resistance and crashed down, got stuck. But is this upside down head and shoulders on a daily? That could be very powerful. 20%, 20%. If it happens to rally again, it needs to break way above here to the 150 level. Who knows if that's going to happen? There's the sentiment on AMD is not so great right now. It is the same setup in terms of the double bottom, but it got shorted down quite significantly. Let me just double check the news specifically. Need to know why. It could be because Intel's coming out with their own video cards. I see. Barclays analysts cut down the rating on AMD price target by negative 22%. That's why it's an analyst downgrade. So that's why it's another fundamental kind of catalyst, bearish catalyst. You gotta watch out for those kind of things in the market. If you trade in the market, if you're a broker, if you spend enough time in the market, you'll see this piece of news is gonna do this, or this piece of news on Tesla is gonna do this, right? So for stocks, it's not all about staring at the chart. Maybe 50% is staring at the chart. The other 25% is what's the news. The other 25% is just emotional control and discipline, capital management, risk management. So if we just stare at this, and if you just somebody blocked the name of AMD, I would say this whatever's happening in this company is not so great right now. Even though I enjoy AMD products, I know what they are. But is it time for a little bit of a pullback on AMD? If you look at this Fibonacci, where is it? The deep Fibonacci retracement, the 382 level would be our support, our $100 again, because the person cut the target to let me see, wherever his target was. Doesn't really matter, but what matters more is the price support. Is this going to hold? Because if it's going to turn to upside down and head and shoulders or hit the bottom support level, that could be a potential buying opportunity, but I have to wait for it. So again, not all charts are the same. There's a 1 hour bullish momentum building, so I would not be surprised if this thing actually goes long tomorrow for the next couple days, maybe 2 or 3 days. Potential maybe 3% in here with might have to be a 4%, but easy 2-to-1 reward to risk trade if it happens to go to the upside, but AMD very tradable as well. All right. I might not do every stock on my list because of the internet, my internet crashing, but maybe we'll do like 1 or 2 more just because these are interesting. Facebook crash. Okay. So the Facebook, or Meta, I should say, on a daily, this is what I'm talking about. Yeah, bad earnings, you get this gap down. You got to watch out for that. That's why on my Discord, I always post earnings because not everybody is remembering the date of 500 companies at one time or 50 companies. So the next earnings day for Meta is April 27. Basically 3.5 weeks from now. Gotta pay attention to that. Because if they release any good PR, it could be very interesting right here at this particular spot, because we're seeing the trend change take place. It's downtrending for such a long time. Down and then huge capitulation down. Now, if things are really going to pick up for the market, again, the broader market, if we pull back, but if we hold above for this particular stock, Meta hold above 183 and never go below that, then that is the bottom for now. It's literally the bottom. So then we could pull back all the way down to like $200 or even 193 and just barely hold that, and then it'll actually turn into an upside down head and shoulders, and we blast off to the upside. But the trend needs to change. Just this little up is not enough to convince a long-term 5-year investor. Okay, you need actual, right here, you can see it right here. Even if it goes up, let me zoom in. Like the beginning of 2021, we had a nice bearish pullback. So if it goes up right into earnings, pulls back, you'll notice that the price never went below, at this point in time, below 244. That's our line in the sand as a bull. So that's how you could just psychologically say, okay, even if I buy a stock, I'm going to put a stop loss under a reasonable spot, the left side. And then my target for Facebook could have been anywhere between 8 and 24%. And then that's exactly what happened. Almost to the dot. Almost. That's a tricky trade, though. How is someone going to get it's not exactly that perfect. You could shrink it down a little bit. Well, you see, even if somebody has a 3% stop loss on the small amount of capital or medium size, it never went below 254. So the big whales, the big hedge funds, the big money is saying, no, this thing's not going down. Why would it go down? And then start uptrending, and then that's how we make profit, right? The problem is, and it happens over and over and over again, is that if someone's not actively doing charts or fundamental analysis, keeping up with the news and the company, is people find out about the company when it's right at the end, at the top. The problem is then somebody longs that with no stop loss. Most like amateur investor traders, they have no stop loss, no risk management, no capital allocation. It's basically like 100% in or 50% in, and then they proceed to lose like a negative 25%, and then they don't sell. There's no stop loss. I'm just saying, hypothetical trader, happens to everybody. And then you have a huge gap down, and then that person's down negative 50%, and then they would panic sell down here. Is that the spot to sell? No, it's not. It's the spot to buy down here. We buy low, we sell high. Just like the Warren Buffett quote, it's my favorite quote in investing of all time. Be fearful when people are greedy, and be greedy when people are fearful. When were people fearful? 2 weeks ago, 1 month ago. On Facebook, I mean, the problem though is we use the charts because people are afraid right here, but you had a huge gap down, absolutely huge gap down. One trading day down negative 25%. It's a terrible case scenario. But, from the people I talk to, even for myself as well, is to just stay disciplined. And I've been talking about Facebook for how many streams now in a row, saying we have a 76, finding support here, potential bounce there. I think I mentioned maybe 3 or 4 times there's 25% opportunity here in Facebook. So, it's okay if I'm not singling anybody out. It's the same cycle over and over and over again, every 3 to 6 months or every year. It's the same issue. So this year we had basically energy stocks were the meme stocks of this year. Things were inverted. Crypto's even going up, or a lot in the investment space. So now I'm just watching for this. So the same psychology applies as that last example. Is all right, we have a support right here at 211, we have a support at 200 even, and we have support at 186. As long as the price doesn't go basically below 188 ever again, or even 200, I'm probably going to buy some more Meta Facebook, because the risk reward is better. The exact same example. Okay. So before Facebook, or let's say bullish case scenario, before this thing 6, 9, 12 months goes up back to 288 for whatever reason, because they're bullish PR, and I can assure you companies are always trying to manage investors' expectations And they, of course, they want the stock price to eventually rise. They don't want, no company wants their stock price to tank, because the executives and the board are probably going to get in trouble for that, right? It's not good for any employee to make, right? It's just, if you ever worked in a corporation, that's the thing you don't want to do, right? You want, like, employees want to make companies money in a very, like, raw term, right? Obviously do a good job, but then also there's the investor relations side of things. So stock price reflects that in a certain way. But if we're talking about trend, though, it was uptrend to a downtrend to capitulation, meaning massive fear sell-off. Nobody wanted Meta. But then there's always value people out there, investors say, wait a second, Meta, Facebook is 50% off discount. It's like going to the store. You want to buy something, like a shirt or something. You see it, the price is $100, and then you come back 2 weeks later and it's the same shirt. It's $50 now, it's 50% off. And if you wanted it, still good. There's nothing wrong with it. There's no hole inside it, or there's no stain or anything. There's nothing bad. It's the same product, just marked down. Okay, I'll buy it. I'll buy it. The same psychology. Okay, so that was more of an educational lesson. Okay, last one, because it's a different industry. Visa, where we do payments, digital payments, and we'll move on to crypto to end the stream. Is here on my own during the week, I drew a support line. And this is why it's important to always be drawing support and resistance, because if you don't draw, if you only look at intraday like a 5-minute candle, you're never going to see this. A trader's never going to see this. Is if you look at this, we're talking about one trading day. You guys zoom out on your daily chart, put in a little bit of sweat equity, put in a little bit of work. What I'm doing, it's just like 5 minutes on per, like, couple minutes per chart if I'm trying to do a lot. So when I look at a daily chart like this, where am I seeing? What am I looking at? Okay, I'm looking at support and resistance. All right. Right here, I see, okay, there's support right here. Why? Because there's touch point, support 1, 2, almost 3. I'm trying to ignore this part, just for example. I'm pretending that's not there. Okay, there's that. Then we have obviously the large resistance on the top side zone. Okay, there's that. You can even extend this out if you wanted to. Get 2 nice giant boxes. Then it's a little easier to see. There's actually a secret gap support right here. Okay, so that's a little more advanced, but you can see the price fall back to that exact spot. This is why support resistance is extremely critically important, why I love it, because classical technical analysis actually works. And then you combine some other indicators like your RSI or EMAs or whatever you like. And you say, oh, support. Okay, intraday momentum. Oh, yes. Wonderful. Beautiful. There's a double bottom here. So you have support, double bottom, RSI, double bottom. This is a little tricky. The MACD was a little trickier on that point in time. But then also the S&P double bottom right here. So that's why we can't just look at one stock. All right, but where's Visa going? It had a nice rally, but it's approaching this upper resistance area. And so whenever it gets here 1, 2, 3 times, it starts to sell off a little bit. That's why I am bullish on Visa long term. It's just right now at this point in time, it's right starting to upcross. So it's either going to do one or two things. And we have a perfect example of the bearish case on this left side because of the war. Is you could see it pop up just maybe a few days, and if nothing happens, it could fall back down again. But this is extreme because of the war. Right here, February 25, you hit fear lows. It should have stopped here in normal case and probably went up, but then everything got overextended at that point, like 2 weeks ago. So now maybe this golden cross is going to be the real one. It's possible. Essentially, though, if we're looking at the Visa price, it is still consolidating for a year within this trading range. So this is kind of generally what consolidation sort of looks like, just very loosely from November till May. Am I hyped up about Visa? Not really. Not really. But at least it did double bottom off of 195. Right here. So until Visa really breaks a psychological number like a 240 or something and starts its massive run, people are not probably going to be that excited about that. Okay, let's focus on crypto, and we're going to close the stream off again. And again, what we're talking about is the top 10 largest general stocks by market capitalization. So what I'm trying to instill in other people is there's no reason to chase every penny stock and penny coin on the planet. You don't have to. We don't have to. It's very simple. Traded Apple. Could have traded Apple, right? 15% range because of the war. And again, this is a business-based stream, so I have empathy and sympathy for humans and people, right? Very sad what's happening in globally right now. It's just the value I'm trying to provide on these streams is basically business stock focused. We're in finance right now, so just want to make that clear. So there's 20% ranges because of the short squeeze, essentially. But now let's move over to crypto. Let's move over to crypto. I like to start off with total market cap because it represents, this is by TradingView, actually by CryptoCap, but it's available on TradingView, and it's basically the entire dollar market cap of the entire crypto market combined. It's in trillions. So where are we with crypto? It's not, the weekly candle, I believe, has not closed yet, so I might have to wait a little bit for this. But the problem is, okay, if this is going to turn into an evening star pattern of this pattern, you can look it up on Google or TradingView, is this thing could pull back. The last weekly evening star we had is this. I'll put in a circle. You see that? The triple candle pattern, this. So if that happens, that could be bad for crypto in the short term. But why am I not giving up on crypto is because I know our longer term time frame setup for now is, okay, if the double top is not happening and we're not going to crash down negative 80%, and if this is not happening, we found intraday medium term support here at 1.6 trillion is, okay, if there's another rally, it's going to happen. If we're going to have altcoin spring coming up soon, then this is just, we bounce off that double bottom support, and it would be nice to bounce back up to the almost $3 trillion range. But the diagonal general halfway point is, that's why we're getting stuck right now. A little too excited. I'm still just click disclaimer. I'm still bullish on crypto. It's just, if we're going to pull back, we just need to not fall below this 1.65. It's the same deal as like a Facebook example or a SPY example, right? Because right here in the crypto market of Dogecoin China crash last year is, we need to not go below 1 trillion. And then we have bullish news to the upside, El Salvador legalization. So same thing here is, three things can happen. We're going to break out and we're at moon. We're going to go to 60,000 Bitcoin, or it's going to get stuck here and consolidate, or it's going to pull back and retest 1.67. Hopefully it doesn't do that. Hopefully it doesn't crash down either below that. Okay. So those are the three longer term scenarios. That's we're working within that framework. And then we zoom in a little bit. The problem here right away on the 4 hour is, okay, there's obvious resistance here. There is some whale forces out there that's not letting the market go higher. Also, I read an article, I don't know how true it was, but on the news, saying that about 20% at least Americans have traded, invested, or used crypto. That's a nice number. 20%. 20%. But the sample size and the data is like, okay, well, is that adults, or it's not clear, but that was the number, 1 in 5. That's good. So just in general for crypto. But in terms of the trading is, wait a second, we had this trend line and it's just hesitating right there. So watch out for this double top. If this crashes, that's not going to be good. People are not going to be happy about that. Negative 6% to the downside. If it's real bad, negative 12% to the downside. Confirm that. Let me confirm that with Fibonacci. Yes, exactly our 50%, or maybe our 786 range. So this double top right here on this 4 hour, watch out for this week. You gotta watch out for that bearish. It's not low. I bought cryptos when we were low like 2 weeks ago. So I'm just saying, for full disclosure, I'm long crypto and I'm not even gonna sell that. I'm holding for a little while. Or probably for the rest of the year. All right, so we'll see here is that very steep to the upside. And again, crypto is more sensitive to THRs because there's less news. So you want to watch out for that. But again, levels in the sand, as long as we don't break below 1.64 trillion on the crypto market cap, we're fine. Day trading is a different story. If someone's a leveraged day trader, it's a different analysis than what I just said. All right, BTC, Bitcoin dominance. I like to look at this chart, just get a little relationship between Bitcoin and altcoins. It's a very similar chart. See, riding that. That's how I knew Bitcoin is going to go up, because we're riding the support and it's not going down. Is it going below it? It's not. So then I just said, oh, time to long. Then I bought cryptos. Right. What was my thought process? Well, it's support level, resistance level, where the resistance was here at that point. So it was just kind of choppy down here, but it turned to a large double bottom pattern. But I kept saying, I remember saying on streams like 2 weeks ago, maybe even a month ago, is that this feels like this. I circled it on the stream. So then, because I literally lived and traded and invested through that period, I said, okay, just long it. In my mind, just long it. Nothing to fear. It's crypto. Long it, put a little stop loss or alert or mental stop loss, and just let it go. Emotionally let it go. And then we're up in the green right now. So now what matters? Oh, excuse me. This is not the Bitcoin dominance chart. Excuse me. This is the Bitcoin futures chart. Excuse me. So clarity. This is the BTC CME futures chart. Got the symbols mixed up. So it's BTC 1. So we are physically looking at Bitcoin futures right now. All right. So what I'm concerned about in the very, very medium term is, okay, there is the trend line resistance right here. And just like S&P 500 is this thing, it looks like the Tesla chart, right? It was rallying to the upside and you had gap up. So what does that tell me? Is there's some hype, there's some FOMO, a little bit at least for the past 4 days, right? But again, the better place to buy was down here. I mean, there's a deep one right here at 35. Intraday trading, support. Kind of longing right here is a little risky. Why? Because there's so much downside. If it breaks down all the way down to the 3900s, 39K, so a trader would get stopped out right now. So patience is the key. The patience is key. What I'm talking about is this going to hold the support level right here, the gap support, or not? Just like S&P 500, there's a relationship. It's correlated. It's connected. You also want to zoom out a little bit in that, remembering that Bitcoin is not $5,000 anymore, or 4,500. It's 46,550 US dollars on the futures market. So what's the big money going to do? Let's see. What's the big money going to do? We did have the longer term golden EMA up cross. I'm just being clear here. We had this 4-hour continuation, and this kind of, sometimes Bitcoin acts like a leading indicator. So I'm talking about this particular golden cross right here is like S&P is literally right here on the chart. So that's what I'm saying. Is it going to keep rallying or not? That's the issue. How deep is it going to pull back into the support level? Bitcoin, because I know Bitcoin usually doesn't pull back. If Bitcoin goes up, it just goes up. It's crypto. It's like a Forex. So intraday trading. It's so funny how it's just, is this going to be the S&P tomorrow, right? Because S&P is literally right here at the beginning spot. You can get one pullback and then it's to rally for 2 days or so. That's why technical analysis charts, once a trader learns kind of that basics to intermediate, then you just keep seeing the same patterns over and over again. And then from experience, then you can execute on them. The reason why I see these things and pick up on them is because I look at the charts often, but also I've looked at it for years, not just 2 weeks. And I practice on my free time too. So that's Bitcoin. Okay, let's do just a little bit of top cryptos. I'm going to change the chart because I don't want to erase my my personal charts. So just pick pick something I don't use, like a Kraken or something. Use Kraken, clean chart. Is Ethereum USD. So Ethereum, we start with a longer term perspective. Is there was that scare of, wait a second, isn't it potential head and shoulders? And it did go down, but then it stopped, just like Bitcoin. And we found the support level. Also, if somebody Fibonacci that was basically the 786 support. So that's how advanced traders, 618, 786 support. Was there a pivot there? No, but there's EMA there as well. So there's 2 signs at least saying, okay, this is support level right there. Also on the MACD, we start to get this momentum up. So I was eyeing this very, very closely, and then went long cryptos. The issue is, how far is this going to extend to the upside before you get a pullback? Because it's the psychology. Anybody coming late in the market is going to buy it somewhere up here. And if it pulls back, they're going to lose money. But anybody who bought down here is still in the green, so it doesn't matter that much. Right? So it's all about timing for crypto trading. And for technical analysis, it's used to time the entries better and to analyze the price and the volume. So then it's that sequence, is if somebody's not looking at charts, then they will never find setups. And if they never find setups, then it's difficult to make any profit trading in any system. But you can see it's a sequence of events that has to happen. Okay, but to give a little bit more info is, all right, it's still uptrending, but it's starting to get just a little bit of baby bearish momentum. I call it baby. It's very small on a daily chart. It's still uptrending on a 4-hour, so I'm not going to short this, or I'm not going to recommend anybody to short this because it's uptrending. Why would anybody do that? The time to short it is when it's downtrending hard, and then you hop on with the whales and try to obliterate the price to the downside. Same thing with stocks. If it's uptrending, I'm not going to short it until I see clear loss of, lower high or rejection down, and then short that down. If this was a stock, if this is Tesla, I'm not going to short this thing. If it's, for example, we did have the symmetrical triangle breakout. We measure that 34%. That's beautiful, but it's probably just gonna be a 15%. So we hit that first target. That's why I'm starting the first target right when you hit 50%. You see the sell-off right here in the red, right there. Somebody had stop loss, or somebody have to check the intraday for continuation. It's just, at least this chart, the momentum's floating in the middle, so it's neutral, meaning it could go either way. It's just which way is the price going to break. So I would just put support or resistance Resistance right here at 35.16. You could see once we drew that line, you could feel it now in the chart. There's resistance. There is a wall right here at 3,500. The market makers, the whales, the hedge funds are saying no to Ethereum Bull's price. So where's the downside support? There's support right here at 3,400. It's probably the same market maker, hedge fund, billion-dollar, trillion-dollar funds globally. That's just keeping the price nice and comfortable in this range. 3% range. If you ever open up an order book, I mean, a lot of those orders are fake orders, but you know, the psychology of supply and demand is right here on the chart. So again, as long is Ethereum low price right now, relatively? No, it's not. Is it high price either? No, it's not. It's a little bit on the high side, more a little bit on the relatively high side here. So just watch out for that. Okay, I might not have time to go through every single crypto, but let's do a couple of these that are the famous ones that are big and global market cap. We'll do a little Binance coin. We'll do some Solana. I know Solana had a nice rally. Got Binance coin, a very sloppy chart, but same deal here. Binance coin, BNB, USDT. There's correlation between Bitcoin and Binance coin right now because this particular chart looks almost the same. So it's the same analysis for me. Just put this here, right here. Hold on, someone's trying to call out a potential. Let me see. It depends on your time frame, right? This on a 15-minute, this is not an ascending triangle. This is not ascending triangle. This is consolidation. Ascending triangle in the price is, yes, you have the resistance on top, and then but the price has to be doing this inside of the triangle for ascending. If we're talking about the 15-minute, this is not really ascending. This is consolidation. You could draw a parallel channel here. For this to be ascending, this bottom blue side, the price needs to do this to be ascending. Then it's ascending. Okay? If we're trying to talk about that, that's not ascending triangle. So that's why the discretion is much more important with price. Patterns should be, in my opinion, very textbook. There should be no question about, is it this pattern or is it not this pattern? It should be very, very, very obvious. Because from experience, I know this longer term, this could turn into a double top and go to the downside. Okay, because if you start zooming out, is especially on an hourly, is like, wait a second, you have the resistance here, and you could kind of see it forming a little bit longer term. So again, it's not, I'm not trying to disprove somebody's idea. It's more about, this is why I think for myself, or for anybody, to separate themselves and to keep getting better at TA and trading and investing is to get very, very specific with the indicators, the setups, the patterns, and such. I know crypto sometimes though is has what I call quote unquote dirty patterns. Like for example, this 15-minute when I was looking at this is this a textbook upside down head and shoulders? Not really, but then it's close enough to, for my definition from experience in crypto, and obviously people thought the same, and then they just mooned that. Like bull rallied in terms, it went to the moon in that 15-minute. So 3% to the upside. Okay, I just want to make that clear to people, for people. All right, so BNB, you had the essentially, let's see our chart. BNB, you had essentially, why I love trend lines. Sometimes you get the beautiful trend line breakout. Very simple. And it did have a retest, so that's how I knew this thing is real. It's very sensitive on the charts. We're right here. Pull back and then rally. I remember saying that might happen maybe 1 or 2 streams ago. And then here on this trend line, it's holding the bottom side. It got penetrated downside to the downside like 2-3 times. So the resistance right now is 452 range zone. You can also put it here. It's a little bit choppy. A little bit choppy right now, but it's a rising wedge pattern. So eventually, or rising channel. So eventually, if this thing doesn't keep rallying, it's going to fold over to the downside. I already tried to happen 2 times. If this is just 5 minute, 1 minute, 5 minute stuff just bouncing out, that's fine. But if we're talking about trend, it's 4-hour uptrend to test the 100 EMA to that downside. Now what I'm looking for is, are we going to get, how far into the bullish momentum can we go? And this is where I like to draw some longer term charts, because you see here now, if we use this old trend line on a weekly, the target's very obvious. Okay, it's like a $500 target, which is totally possible with BNB. It's crypto. Okay, this is more of a symmetrical triangle that broke out. It's quite ascending because it's diagonal on the top. Ascending, for a perfect ascending would be like this. But the fact that we lost the support level, it's not ascending triangle anymore for now, at least in Binance Coin in the weekly. This was the problem with crypto, is there was the ascending triangle I was talking about like 6 months ago on crypto, but then once we lost this support level, it's canceled now, and then it penetrated deep down to 329. So is it possible to come back inside? It's possible if it just keeps rallying, but right now that's the resistance on that side. So I have to adjust that so nobody gets confused right here. I would adjust this and bring it down, because that's obviously a pivot point now, and probably play this. So now it's turning into just kind of like a wedge on the weekly. So very nice. Okay, just watch out for this resistance here, because 4 hours uptrending, but our day traders they're gonna have fun with this, right? You can see here the day trading setup here. Here's one. The day trading setup, because it's getting stuck at this resistance point with the golden up cross. So 2 cases, it's gonna break out. So you're going to consolidate, or it's going to pull back to 442. A long would be interesting at 442 just to play the long setup. Okay. So next one, Solana. Let's do Solana, because I know that maybe we could add in Zilliqa, because just to get some of these pumpers and movers and see and explain what's going on. We use Bitfinex. All right, so right off the bat on the daily, we've been talking, actually not this one, it's not enough data. Might have to use USDT for this example. I'll just use something old like Huobi. Okay. All right, so on Solana, at least a 1 year plus of data, and it's been in an uptrend. I remember calling our 252 top. It must have been, so back in October, November, saying this could be a top of Solana, and that was the top, and then it started downtrending. The issue is that the setup was right into the 618. 618, if you believe in Fibonacci and the science of Fibonacci, that's obvious reason right there. Obviously, also there was the support level on this left side. I like to call it support cluster, the price cluster. Triple bottom support. There's also a triangle right here. And then once it broke out and retested that on the right side, it's off to the races. 25% target. If we went 2 times the target, 50%. So watch out for some potential pullback on Solana. Just off the math, right? It's overbought. And this is what I'm talking about, is people see things like this up in the air, 25, 50% up, when the better buy spot was here for 6 months straight, and as a support trader. And the problem is people logging this right now and thinking, I'm going to hold this for 2 weeks, but if it starts going down, people are going to start sweating, right? People are going to start getting nervous about the trade, and if somebody just started out, they're probably most likely going to sell at a loss. You gotta watch out for those kind of things. If somebody's truly bullish of Solana, maybe even just a little bit cheaper, 130 would be interesting. 120, 106, $100 Solana, obviously better spots of value. If we zoom in, it's still uptrending. So again, crypto loves to rally and pump because they're so relatively cheap. Maybe not this one, but it's cheap. Okay. And if you're just coming to the stream now, I mean, I've been talking about cryptos, the support areas for like months. Okay. That's why you never see me flipping out or freaking out about a 1% or a 0.5% move, because just a couple months ago, we were at 35,000, 36,000 Bitcoin. Okay. So this thing, Solana right now is in a clear uptrend. Okay. So this setup, we've seen this setup many times. Many times. Okay. It's just hitting this resistance cluster right now. This is what kind of FOMO looks like on the chart. It's normal. You have day trading. It's interesting. Very normal price. But even if we just Fibonacci the inside of just this particular move, where could it pull back to? Probably the EMAs. Could pull back to 120 or 100. That's the two numbers I'm probably going to look out for Solana. Okay, let's look at something else. What else went up a lot? I remember Zilliqa. People tell me about Zilliqa. Let's look at Zilliqa. Use a older Huobi chart. There might not be enough volume data, but I remember trading Zilliqa. It's an old school coin. So first, understanding the trend, if we're looking here, even before turn on indicators, this thing was uptrending. Then it was downtrending. And then we were really downtrending. We hit where? We hit the 0.88. Beautiful, beautiful. Also, it's not just about drawing random Fibonacci support levels. It's right here. It's a serious support. Serious. This thing even goes further to the left. This is serious support. Even further. Wow, you could stretch it all the way out. So like that, right? Is beautiful. Support resistance is a wonderful concept. It is technical analysis, okay? And you have the resistance on the top side, which is why I'm not FOMOing after Zilliqa. There's no point because it's at the resistance spot. It's intraday bots. So you have to think about, okay, anyone shorting this on futures internationally just got crushed in their short position. Okay, it's tricky. It's tricky. Crypto is very tricky because you had a little bit of symmetrical triangle type of deal on the intraday. And crypto, 30%. So did we hit 30%? Yes, we did. Basically, 30%. That was the first resistance zone. And intraday traders are going to buy this thing and moon it, meaning pump it up. So it happened in several sessions. I'm going to use the hourly, for example. This is the first key. When you have these little, it's all about trend. You don't even need an EMA. It broke out, it retested. And then there's a lot of spots to buy Zilliqa. Here, here, here. But then when it starts getting parabolic, you start not wanting to buy some of that so much. So let me use, where's my tool? The curve tool. When it starts going parabolic, is okay. I guess you could buy parabola support. But when it starts going straight vertical, I get a little nervous about that. Right, where the curve doesn't even work anymore. Start getting a little bit nervous about that, right? I mean, this curve is just, it doesn't even make sense anymore. On an hourly, you have to do it on a 5-minute. Okay, but this is crypto. It's crypto. You get the pullback. And again, as long as the price is not crashing down, Another symmetrical triangle since, okay, another 40%, it went 120%. Beautiful. Then we had the double top right here, the potential upside, the potential head and shoulders, the play by play. Loss of that support level and then start downtrending because it's hundreds of percent to the upside. So it's very sensitive. Crypto is very sensitive to technical analysis, and anything that moves, people just jump on it. There's bots, there's algorithms, there's day traders, there's international traders. People love crypto, trading crypto. People love it. Were there setups here? There were. If somebody knows exactly what they're looking for, and then how does somebody know this is the top? Well, there's bearish momentum loss. So now if you Fibonacci the latest move, I like to do this, just the bottom to the top. Where would I like to enter on the trade? Some reasonable Fibonacci level. So it could be like a 15 cents, 11 cents, even all the way down to 9 cents. So the question is, okay, are we going to get consolidation rally part 2, or is this the real downtrend? That's the tricky part. That's why we always need support. We always need stop loss in a small to medium sized capital. Try to gain 2-to-1 trades. And if somebody's wrong, it's okay. Lost a little bit of money. It's okay. Just let that go. Emotionally and mentally, just let it go. You pre-plan it ahead of time. I don't scalp anymore. I would only scalp crypto if all of a sudden in America, leverage futures and options were available with very low commissions. I would come back to crypto day trading if there's 0 commissions. If Binance USA, if Coinbase ever does that, which they'll probably never do that, or they have very low chance because that's how they make money. But the reason why a lot of Americans went to stocks and options is in October 2019, there's commission-free trading. Commission-free trading. Wonderful. Wonderful. All right, let me take a second here to refresh the chat because sometimes the chat. So Zilliqa, right? I've seen this crypto setup many times. I'm already buying and holding crypto, so this doesn't even, to me, it doesn't even matter. All right, let's take a quick look at some other ones before we close out. Everything's basically rallying, so anybody who bought crypto in the past 2 weeks is just in the green right now. Near had a nice rally. Whoever asked for that a week ago, we had a pullback. Near up 25%. Beautiful. Everything's uptrending on the 4-hour. We haven't had the deep pullback all the way down to the 200 or 100 EMA on the 4-hour. It hasn't happened yet. VeChain Thor. I'll tell people one crypto that I'm holding. I bought VeChain Thor because I understand what it is and what it's capable of doing. I bought VeChain right at 0.003. So where's right now? It's 0.005. It's 65. I'm up 64% on this. Easy trade. Easy trade. The thing to watch out for is, okay, the bearish divergence is forming. How deep are we going to pull back? The bearish momentum on the 4-hour, on the 15-minute, 1 hour. You can see more of a consolidation type of almost a sim triangle. Almost a sim triangle. So if we just measure this move about maybe 12%, so 12% to the upside would be 0.0057. 12% to downside would be like a 0.0045. But still, if we look at a weekly, there's some serious MACD bullish momentum. We got the first uptick of that MACD histogram in the green. The issue is it's possible that we're going to get a serious pullback. Okay, because when you stack longs, when everyone's long in the market, there's nobody else left to buy. And so the price gets stuck up here. It's like the price went sky high and then it loses momentum and then you start coming down on the intraday. But weekly, I'm prepared for it because if it's going to turn to upside down head and shoulders and blast off to the moon, even better, even better. but we're gonna have to wait for it. If we're just doing general time analysis, well, how long do rallies take? Half a year? How long do pullbacks take? Half a year, basically. So, okay, if this is going to change because if this is our low, I'm expecting a deep, higher high, maybe a higher low. If not, I could be wrong, right? It could just be literally we could be staring at the top of V-chain Thor before it crashes back down to nothing. So again, it's a little tricky. It's never perfect. But that's why there's stop loss, and that's why there's profit targets and etc. So that's just something I'm watching out for a longer term. This thing could take 6 months to play out, but the risk to reward to me was too good because I'm saying, well, if it really rallies, there's like a 200% opportunity. So I just bought it. A lot of factors, but it's based off experience. It's not based upon my feeling. It's based upon the charts and my experience of what I've seen and what I know works. All right, let's keep going here. That's just one example. Basically, everything rallying in crypto, it's a matter of some people want like that crazy day trading, you know, plus like a Zilliqa example, like 1 day, 100%. That's crypto for you. But I do want to point out on a lot of these charts, though, is sometimes the price likes to retest the EMAs and you get a deep pullback like on Mana. If you notice, a lot of these cryptos, it's up kind of holding the intraday support levels of the EMAs, like up here. None of these crypto pull back deep. That's what I'm concerned about. OMG is probably up here somewhere. We'll get to it. So that's what I'm saying. Watch out for it. Even one harmony, I was saying, you know, maybe potentially buy this upside down head and shoulders, the rally right here at around 13 cents. Somebody did that on the stream. They're up 25%, easy. It's a lot of the timing. So you got OMG for a second. Somebody asked for that. So look at OMG. Again. OMG losing a little bit of momentum is bearish momentum for me on the daily. On the weekly, however, I'm going to use a different chart. I don't want to erase this. Let's use the OMG and the Bittrex. No, I don't like that. It looks different. When you have less data, all of a sudden things look different, and it's actually not good for analysis. It's not enough data. I just use like Huobi. Okay, so this is better, right? You see all the history. Even the history going back to when it was like 26 something dollars. So now this is good. We're looking at the weekly here. Excuse me 1 second. Take a sip of water. All right. And we're going to end soon. I went way over time. 30 minutes over because my internet crashed in the first part of the other video. But on our daily here, it's very similar analysis. If I just do quick Fibonacci bottom to top, it was hovering around that 786 level. We had support here under. We had the reversal spot. We also had the trend line on the top side, like that, which was broken. And then this is why, even if you turn everything off, which I won't, but even if you turn everything off, you can see the trend. What is the trend right here from November to March? Is downtrending. This thing is going down. You just draw an arrow. It's downtrending. The EMAs confirm that. It's downtrending. But then once you get the trend change reversal, which I was saying, watch out for just whatever pattern it's going to be, upside down head and shoulders, you know, just bouncing around here. It's not going lower. Then it starts uptrending. Then just buy. If you want to use, if you like indicators, well, okay. If you go 4 hour, it was low RSI, or there's momentum in here, MACD, you know, up cross or whatever you're using, EMA up cross. It's all here. It's all here. It's just crypto traders have to look at the crypto charts a lot. If you're a swing trader, you're probably looking 3 times a day, 4 times a day. Investor, at least once a week or once a month. If you're a day trader, you're probably checking every hour or every 15 minutes. You're just looking a lot. Or you're setting your alerts, right? So that's why I don't really day trade crypto. There's just too much to look at. I swing trade and I go for bigger percent moves, personally. So OMG, if you're asking what's next, it's similar. It's similar. If you draw the support, you can see. This, by the way, was a 70 triangle breakout on the daily. 50%. Did we go 50? We went 30%. So 2 times the target. Again, it's in the overbought, losing a little bit of momentum. And now what I'm concerned about is we haven't had deep pullbacks on any of these cryptos yet. Watch out for that. Because again, when you stack too many longs, everyone's chasing the same thing. Nobody left to buy, and then shorts just stomp on positions, take everybody's position. It's there, the bearish momentum. Watch out for it. Be careful to not lose profits or principal. So, okay, so it's already on the intraday starting to pull back. Now it's all about trend. It's a little choppy right now on the 15-minute, but the 1 hour trend is obviously still intact. So it could take a week or so before the trend is revealed. All right, but I want to give you some clear numbers because people are asking for requests. So 581 is support, 555 support, 544 support. What I would watch out for is clearly look at the price, because there is a resistance right here at 615 on the top. There's support right here at 581. Just play that. These two blue levels, you just play these. Resistance at the top, support right here. So if the price goes below, what is this? 581 and starts downtrending, there might be a day trading long opportunity somewhere in this middle 550 range. If it breaks out, let's say it finds the support here on like a 5-minute or something, it goes up and breaks 615, then there could be a long breakout setup, right? But the problem is people only staring at their indicators. If they don't look at the price, then there's a problem in terms of trading. Got to do both. But this daily candle is not going to close for about 4 or 5 hours. So I would just watch out for that. The key here, though, is at least it's correlated to Bitcoin. So whatever Bitcoin does, OMG is probably going to do that too. I'll do a couple of requests before we hop off. YFI. I mean, these are all going to be similar because we already bounced off our fear lows. You'll have a couple outliers like a Zilliqa or something like that, just because it has massive short squeeze. All right, the volume on this is not that large, so just kind of understand that is YFI is not the biggest coin in the world. If people are trying to pick, I know people have been trying to pick up some like small altcoins, so we just have to define it. The risk parameters is different. So again, if we're talking about trend, it's still in a downtrend. It did find its support above. $24,245. Why does that number sound so huge? Okay. All right. But basically, still the setup. We found the support level. Please keep in mind, if this is the real price, I don't even trade this at all. So if this is the real price, it might not be the easiest coin to move. Okay, it might not be the easiest coin to move. When it happens, it happens when you get short squeezes. But it's still uptrending. On the weekly, though, it's stuck under these EMAs right here. So if it's going to be a real trend change, we're going to have to wait for it to happen. It could take a while. The 4 hour is still uptrending. But with crypto, like people always want to know, oh, what's going to go up in the next like 24 hours or 5 minutes or something like that, or 1 hour. It depends on the chart. So individual hype on a particular name, I'm not pointing out YFI or anything. It's just what I learned in crypto is it doesn't really matter what I like as a trader personally. It's what's the best chart at this point in time. You have to hunt for it, search for it. So if somebody's trying to long for this, we already had the support at 21,522. So now it's getting towards that resistance range. It's still uptrending. So you could, in the 5-minute 15, yes, you could bounce up to hit the 25327. And a 15-minute, yes, it is up crossed on our EMAs. A little choppy. But is it low price? No, to be honest. So that's why you want to watch out for it. Depends if you're long or short. You're probably a long. So you always want to try to buy low and sell high. It is uptrending right now, but when things go in the sky, I don't want to long that too much. Okay, does that make sense? So again, I'm just gonna assume you're probably trying to do day trading or swing trading. So if it's a swing trader, what I'm looking for is the higher high right here up to the 2528, 25444. But again, just remember that price is very expensive because it's definitely possible. It's like a baby Bitcoin to me, right? It's about, what is it, like half the price of Bitcoin. So of course anything's possible. But if we're talking about, is it low price right now for a long, is, well, on the daily chart or on the hourly chart, it's kind of floating in the air right now. Why did it go up? There was a little bit of dirty upside down head and shoulders right here with the neckline. 3% to the upside, you would get 3 to 6%. We hit that 3%. Now it's pulling back down. So right here on the 15-minute, there's bearish divergence. So if somebody's trying to buy this thing, wait for it to, it looks like it wants to pull back. It's just the 15-minute, even while we're talking, is pulling back. It already had a rally up. The swing trading is towards the upper side. Okay. So that's the analysis right now. It depends. If you're trying to hodl this thing, it's a totally different mindset. Alrighty. A totally different mindset. Yes, there's bullish MACD divergence forming. Okay, so yeah, the number, this is a good example. For me, I don't really care about the number because it's crypto. So a lot of crypto should have coin split. They should have a proper coin split. So this thing's probably supposed to only be worth like 24 cents, to be honest. Right, so this number doesn't scare me at all. It's just I need to double check that. Right, same thing with Bitcoin. Bitcoin's not really supposed to be 40,862, or no, it's not supposed to be 46,504, right? It's because if you understand what crypto is and the coin burn, right, and the max supply available, it's stuck at about like the 15, 16, 17 million coins. So if there were proper coin splits or coin burns and coin splits, Bitcoin should only be like $4. But it's untouchable. That's why it's controlled supply. So that's why some of these numbers doesn't really scare me at all. It should be like $4 or $46 Bitcoin, and it makes more sense. So same thing, I apply the same logic and thinking and approach to YFI, something big. It's not supposed to be 24,187. It's probably supposed to be 241 or 0.24 in if there's a proper coin split. So just watch out for that. Again, what we're looking for, because it sounds like you're trying to hope, you're bullish and you're hoping for this thing to go back to 90K, is if we're looking at a weekly, is okay, if this is our temporary bottom, there's some MACD bullish momentum going. The last time that happened was July. That's why my frame of reference is the Dogecoin crash. Let's say it's going to be the exact same thing. Well, how long is that going to take? Well, it could take 49 days at that time. So 49 days is maybe 2 more weeks and see what happens. On YFI, to be honest. Stop loss always in play. But I mean, this thing is tracking Bitcoin. So again, I caution people against getting too biased on their own coin, right? Is whatever Bitcoin is going to do, usually the market follows along. Let's do one more, GMT. Yes, this one. I think it was step in, right? Huge rally. Absolutely huge since the last time we talked about it. It's beautiful. Beautiful. So on this particular coin, there's not much data, excuse me. There's not much data. Is these types of coins, if there's some clear low and clear high, okay, I'm just gonna Fibonacci it. All right, last time we talked about it, I think it was like March 27, so it was here. And I remember saying, I saw this on chart, it's beautiful. I hope somebody picked up that 273%. I hope somebody did. I hope so. Because when it starts uptrending, then it's all about the pullbacks. Okay. This could be a general ascending triangle. I don't even remember what I said about step in. I hope I told you about this ascending triangle. But that's the play. Very simple. Boom, ascending triangle. Okay, the target's 50 to 100% and done deal. 50%, hit that target, broke through that. 100%, $1.77, 150% or 200%. That's why it's stopping right now. There was bearish momentum all the way up until April 1st, which is Friday, and it pulled back till now. Uptrending. Now it's starting to down. I mean, it was uptrending. Now it's starting to downtrend on this 1 hour. Starting to downtrend on this 15-minute. Now it's tradable. Okay. If people are asking me, oh, should I hodl this? There's only 2 candles, and you got to read the white paper and do the research, fundamentals on yourself. But in terms of the technical analysis, is this thing is downtrending on a 15-minute. Low high. All right. Now, are we going to get a trend change reversal to the upside? Possibly. Higher low. Interesting. It's going to hold above 234. Nice. Kind of like S&P 500. If we can maintain the momentum, it should bounce. Hopefully. If it gets a higher high at best, we're going to 316. If it just becomes a higher low, it's still going to 258. Okay, so here's an example of where on a 15-minute trade is, okay, what's the downside risk? These are 5% downside risk with the potential of at least 10, maybe 20%, right? So as day traders, like, no, using technical analysis, you can't predict it. You can't predict it, right? Because if you use advanced tools, because I think I remember saying this thing is uptrending, right? It's perfectly measurable move. The actual entire triangle is 100%. It went 2 times the target. That's definitely measurable. That is predictable. If somebody wanted to use advanced, like where's my Fibonacci extension? You could Fib-based extension all the way here, and there's all these targets here, so it's not random. We hit the 4618. Broke through the 1272, broke through the one retrace 1-to-1, broke through the 1618. That's what people are using for breakout, right? So here's an example where ascending triangles actually works. Sometimes it doesn't work, but in this particular case, it worked and exploded to the upside. Beautiful. It's just, it was an hourly. Okay. Even on the MACD RSI, if you're saying that, the problem is if you're staring at a daily, there's nothing. But if you're staring at a 15-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, there is, I see some definitely signs before the breakout. There's a low RSI point right here at 24. There's MACD bullish, there's bullish momentum here, and then you have up cross out of the ascending triangle. There's 3 reasons before why this thing moved. to the upside. Now the MACD momentum is building. I am looking at the 1 hour. We broke through the pivot point, right? You have to add a Fibonacci in here now because now it's so high. And zoom in a little bit. The downtrend. It's because there's not enough data. Oh, you guys can't see the comments. Somebody on YouTube is saying, wants me to check GMT, saying that the price is unpredictable. They're using MACD and RSI, using 1 hour. The 4 hour and the daily is not clear because there's not enough data. So that's why you keep going in until there is enough data. So on the 4 hour though, there's a head and shoulders on the RSI itself. That's a huge warning flag right here. Huge warning flag that this thing is about to crash. One pattern right there on the H4. Also, if you're experienced on the MACD, you're losing that bearish momentum here. There's the setup. So it's building. The next setup might not happen for a couple of weeks. It's building. So if it's going to pull back, it's going to pull back deep, and then the MACD is going to momentum is going to build for the next rally on GMT, on Steppen. But on this 4 hour chart, it was uptrending and now it's starting to downtrend a little bit. It's starting. So watch out for it. If Steppen sells off, you could see the lower low is below $2. So $2 support is going to be critical for Steppen to hold. Right here. Low, high, low. Okay. And then once that happens, you might see the momentum build. But if it's just going to rally again, on a 15-minute. Again, what I was talking about is the 15-minute is this could be, if it holds above 232, it could be an interesting long setup to catch that bounce to 275, maybe even 30 if it turns to a trend change. Alrighty. So again, international crypto traders have such an advantage. Compared to USA traders, because USA traders, we do not have access to every single crypto exchange globally. The laws have changed. So with the big Binance.com to Binance.us move, that's why I don't personally look at every single crypto anymore unless somebody asks me for it. I look at the USA list, which is 50 to maybe 150 or 160 cryptos. It's like 50 to 100 basically. And that's all I trade. I trade the majors, I invest, and I try to control human emotions of greed and fear and manage the emotions of between risk and what else? Well, basically just managing risk and not putting too much money into one trade at the wrong spot. Okay, everyone. So I went double overtime today. We went 2 hours total, and because it's Sunday for me, it's my day off. And so hope you learned something. I'm streaming live on TradingView, YouTube, and Twitch. I have a free Discord group where I release a watch list about indexes, stocks, and crypto as well. And even for myself, we always want to keep learning and keep practicing on the charts, and the payoff is here, especially for crypto. You can see when something goes 200%, I mean, that's big news, right? That's big news. Wonderful setup on Steppen for anyone who actually bought this thing, right? Wonderful. So thanks so much for watching. Hope you have a nice week, and I'll be back next weekend for the next stream. Have a nice week. Thank you. Bye-bye.